Hello, sunshines. Happy February. Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm your host, Heather, known as BunniPhish on Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon, and I am starting off the February vlog really, really quickly. I just wanted to show you one of my absolute favorite things, like ever. My local library does, what they call them, blind dates with a book, and I stepped on a knitting needle over the weekend, and so my foot hurts. So I did not go into the library. I sent my oldest kiddo into the library to pick me up a blind date with a book. I have no business reading a book that's not from books I own or my TBR pile, but you know what? I'm doing it anyway. Subconsciously, I know I'm always going to pick up a blind date with a book. So let's see what my kid picked me, shall we? Oops, I forgot to read you what it said on the outside. I was too excited. It says, beekeeping at a summer camp has never been so dangerous. And the book is The Honeys by Ryan LaSala. So I'm going to start reading this right now and see if it's any good. Maybe it will be. Maybe it'll be awful. But you know what? Either way, it'll be fine. Do you hear my cat laying on a pile of papers over here? You're laying on all my tax papers, huh? Yes. As one does. I would show you how cute he is, but, tax papers. So, not going to happen. But you're very cute. You're very perfect. I'm sure there will be kitten footage later. He's so big now. And so unkitteny. But very perfect. Do you hear him? Here. I'll put you right by his face. You can't see anything. See, we can't see any papers over there. There we go. Okay. Hi. All right. Very important survey from the kitten. What's better than a box? A box with a plastic bag. Oh my goodness. He is like beside himself. He's so excited. Are you so excited about this development? You are. There couldn't be anything better, huh? You got a box and a bag all in one place. It's very exciting for him. I was barely able to get the yarn out of here. The yarn which I'm using for children holiday presents. So, for 2 of them. Anyway, this is for 1. Do you remember when I said I wasn't going to make a sweater? I'm still not making a sweater, but I mean, equivalent amount of stitches. My child is so lucky that I love them. Genius, Frappuccinius. You're very perfect. Hello, sunshines. Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. Today is Monday, the 19th of February, 2024. And I am just kicking off this vlog really quick. I have some things to check in about, some finishes. I have not all the things. Where did I put the other? There. Okay, I have some things to talk about. Some things that I finished in the last 3-ish weeks, 2.5 weeks. So, first up, I have finished another bingo square. This is my second pair of DK weight socks finished. So these are for me. I'm very excited. I used Fiber Nymph Dye Works worsted base. I don't remember what that's called. Traveler maybe? Or is Traveler the DK? Sport. I don't know. I used the worsted base, except for the heel. I held 2 sport weight strands together. And they're matching. Aren't they so cute? Yes, they're so cute. They're so cute. They're just vanilla. I cast on 44 stitches for the cuffs, went down to 40 for the leg and the foot. And they are finished. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm probably going to wear these to work tomorrow. Very excited about them. Not much to say, honestly. I have a finished object that I don't have here to show you, but I'll insert a picture right here. It was using the leftovers from the yarn. This yarn came with two minis, two like semi-solid-ish minis that kind of match these stripes right here. So I used those to finish off the hat, and I used the sport weight also held double to do the crown decrease area, and I used up all of those yarns, all three of them. Gone out of my stash, very exciting. So that was, well, four actually, because this is a separate mini skein from a different thing. So that's really exciting. So I made that hat, and then I finished the socks, and I still had a repeat of the yarn. So I pulled out some gray Cascade 220, I think that's what it was. Or it may have been Barocco vintage. But just some gray. Did the brim in the gray, and then I did the colorful section, and then I went back to the gray. So yeah, just a hat for some kid at school, whoever picks it. I cast on, I think for the first hat I cast on 76 stitches, and for this one I cast on 80, I think. I worked on size 5 needles. So pretty good kid-sized hat. I also finished this Forest Links kind of square that I modified. So I used a mandala yarn for this, and just a black. It is the first square for the Afghan that I am making in conjunction with my sister for our aunt. It's very, very exciting. I did do a little color management with the mandala. So this yellowish green did the first 3 rounds all by itself with no color management, and then I got to the end of this blue, or had not quite the end, but not enough to do another round, and I really wanted this aqua color, so I cut the yarn for that. And then here's my big finish. I finished this blanket for middle school. Buddy, get off that. I already washed it. Yeah, I finished this. It is one strand of green, blue, or purple yarn held together with one strand of black, gray, or white. Except for one corner, the ending corner, it's just black and gray, because I didn't want to look for another scrap of blue or green in my stash, and the gray was already there. So, yay! I'm excited to have this finished. So exciting. Hello, sunshines. Welcome back to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm your host, Heather, known as BunniPhish on Instagram, YouTube, and nope. Hey, sunshines. Welcome back. It is the 2nd of March. So I'm here with my February wrap-up because it's a Saturday, and my week was way too busy to try a midweek recording. It was report card week, so no way. I just didn't have it in me. February was a month, let me tell ya. Like, there was just so much going on my work side of my life. Like, so much report cards and refresh, which is like taking back all of the students' computers and giving new ones to the kids and stuff. Like, it was a lot. So I don't have as much crafting as I did in January, but that is to be expected. I knew that was going to be the case because I had so much time for my own things in January and not so much in February. So let's see what else I finished this month. I did a pair of socks. That was a test knit for Alendria Knits. I have the pair. I'm not going to turn this one inside out yet because I need to weave in a couple ends, and I don't want to forget about that. I thought I had woven in all of the ends one night, and I went to put it in my basket so that I could talk about it with you. And then I realized that I had 2 left, but I was too tired to weave them in. So anyway, this is what it looks like. Turned right side out. It is called the Almost Vanilla Socks, I think. Almost Vanilla, Basically Vanilla. Something like that. I'll put it in the show notes. The link to purchase through Ravelry. So it's really well written. It's super simple. And basically it has 5 colorwork charts that you can use however you want in your sock. So the idea is you do a band at the leg and a band at the toe, but obviously you could put it in wherever. They're all, they're fairly small. They're only 7 rounds. 7 rounds? 9 rounds. I know how to count. It's fine. For the repeat. So it's, it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's pretty easy. I think there's only 1 chart that has like a longer float. I did 2 different charts on mine. I don't know if you can tell that. So that's one. That's the other. I did 2 different charts and I like the way it turned out. I used mini skeins that have been sitting in my stash for a very long time, probably 5 years, 7 years. Did I have these? I think I had these minis when I lived in Kentucky. That's a really long time. But my roommate made a comment in January about how, I think I was talking about socks or something, and how I don't really make that many socks anymore because people want other things and I just have less people that I'm knitting for than I did 2 years ago. And she was like, well, I would always take socks. I'm like, oh, okay, for sure. So I let her go through I'm looking over here because this is where my hand knit or my hand dyed yarns live, in this cabinet over here. Not cabinet, shelving unit. I let her look through my hand dyed yarns and let her pick out enough for 2 pairs of socks because that was all I could commit myself to in the moment. And I said, yeah, pick out what you want. So she did. So this is the first pair. And the white I used is Wool-like, which is not a sock yarn. It's a acrylic yarn, but it's only for just a little bit of the sock. And people have made socks out of Wool-like and they say it's okay. I wouldn't for me because I need the breathability of wool, but other people say it's okay. I did contrasting heels, contrasting cuff, and then 3 other minis for the leg and foot of the sock. I think it turned out pretty cute. I'm going to weave in this end and give it to my roommate and take a picture. I'm going to take a picture and then I'm going to give it to my roommate. So yay, that's finished. Very exciting. I also finished another pair of socks for my roommate. So she picked out those minis and then she picked out this yarn from Penguin Soup. And I made her a pair of vanilla socks with contrasting heels and toes because I wanted some of this yarn for myself. So they are matching. I matched up the stripes. It turned out pretty cute. All of these ends are woven in, so that's good. Just very basic vanilla heel flap and toe, cuff down, because that's how I prefer to knit socks. I like the way that cuff down socks wear better than toe up socks, just in the way that like my personal increases wear versus my personal decreases. I've had socks knit by other people that are toe up that they wear nicely, super nicely. It's just the way that I do, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of increase I try. If I do a lifted, if I do like a yarn over that I close through the next loop, if I knit front and back, they're just not as nice. So I don't know, but I knit mine cuff down usually. So these are finished and they are ready to go. And then, I know I talked about this in an earlier clip, but I wanted to make myself some DK socks using the leftovers. So I have the first one. So it's using the same West Yorkshire spinners for the contrast color. And the first one I finished this morning. So it's my first finished thing of March, actually, but whatever. The finished object will be in March anyway, but I just want to show you now because look how cute. I love it. I think, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. My ADHD brain is going, you know how it does. So here's the sock. And I knit it using fingering weight held together. I used a size 2 needle and I cast on 44 stitches because I learned with my my full-length DK socks that I like that better than 40. And I meant to decrease the foot down to 40, but I forgot, so this is 44. So the second one will also be 44. It's fine. The second sock of this pair, when I make another pair, because my goal is to make 3 pairs of DK weight shorties. When I make the next pair, I will probably decrease down to 40 stitches, but this will be fine. It'll be fine. It'll just be a little more slipper sock-ish than like sock-ish, if that makes sense. I think for the second sock, so I did the cuff in the West Yorkshire spinners and then immediately did the heel in the West Yorkshire spinners. And then I did 2 rounds of the gusset. And then I started in on my penguin soup yarn. And it is 2 separate, can you see? Yeah, you can see right here. It is 2 separate nuggets of yarn, but they matched up pretty well. I never had more than like 10 stitches or so where it was like one color was finishing and the next color was starting, but I don't actually mind that marl. I could have cut the yarn and given myself more ends to even to have it line up perfectly, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think, especially from here, it looks cute and they're going in my shoes. If it was for someone else, I may have considered doing that, but I think it's super cute. So for the next one though, I'm thinking that maybe I will do not the entire gusset in this West Yorkshire spinners, but maybe like halfway and just push this stripe further down the foot just for fun, just so that they're a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, obviously it'll be the same amount of yarn, it'll just, this striping pattern will be pushed further down the foot. I think that'll be fun. So I have started the second one this morning and I am 1.5 rounds in. But this is really, really quick because I want to say I was in the purple stripe last night. And then I got home from work and all of my report cards were done and I was like, you know what? I just need to not think. I just need to not do much of anything. So I put on a show and I knit the whole foot. So very, very quick. DK weight socks, super quick. Way, way quicker than their fingering weight counterparts. So this coming Friday, we have professional development. So I'm thinking that I'll probably take this sock in whatever state it's in, if it's not already finished, take it with me to PD and work on it. So this project will definitely be a finished object next month when you're watching. Okay, so other works in progress. Let me show you one that you've seen already. My plan to focus on 3 of my bingo projects, or 3 of my bingo squares a month it went really well again in February, so I'm going to continue that on in March. And one of the bingo squares that I worked on was the Pride blanket. So, do you know what this is? This is a corner. So I'm making a rectangular blanket, but it started out as a triangle. So that's part of the triangle. And let's see, here are my stitch markers. So last month I was in this pink section, and I showed you at the end of January that I was in the pink. This is put in my marker for where I was. So I finished the pink, I did all of the blue, and I started the brown. So I'm going to go ahead, move my stitch marker right now so we know where we were. I would like to get through the brown and the black this month, which should be totally doable because in March there's spring break. So by the end of March, that's what I'm hoping. And then be in the color section, the rainbow color section. I would like to do that this month. So hopefully we'll be there. I think my impromptu design for this blanket, my impromptu pattern, is working well. I will know more once I get a little further through this brown and can actually, because obviously the stitches are bunched, right? So I can't really see what the blanket looks like, but once I'm, into the brown, once I have this much length on the bottom in the brown, I should be able to better have an idea of the size of this blanket, because I don't know what size it is right now. I have no idea. I'm using Knit Picks Mighty Stitch for this. It's a wool acrylic blend. It is 80% acrylic, 20% superwash wool. This yarn was was this Cascade 220? No. Yeah, maybe I'm also using another yarn from my local yarn shop that is also an 80-20 blend, but I don't remember which color. I'm pretty sure it was the white. Yeah, it was the white that I would have used that for. So and I think the size of my blanket was determined by how far I could get with a ball of the white yarn to start with. Pretty sure that was just one. The pink took one, and this poor blanket. The kitten already loves it and like nuzzles it. My kiddo's not going to be mad about it. It's fine. We'll just weave it in. But this took one and some of the pink. The blue section took one and more of a ball for the blue. So my plan for these colors is that once I work them into the blanket, I'm going to be making hats for them. Did I tell you that my sister and I started going to a knit group? And the knit group collects hats for homeless people and stuff to distribute around Detroit. So my plan is that these leftovers will eventually turn into hats, but I think what I'm going to do for them is I'm going to hold them double, hold the worsted weight strands double. So yeah, that's my plan for the leftovers and for this blanket. Tune in next month to see if I actually make it through the black section and start I think I'll be starting with the red section, but maybe the purple. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's red. No, it's probably purple, because like this would be the bottom of the blanket, so I'd be starting with the purple and working up the rainbow. I think so. I'll double check my reference picture, make sure that I'm not making this wrong. But it's going pretty good. So I'm going to continue to work on this. I think that DK weight socks is going to be my other kind of focus project. So this will be focus project 1, focus project 2, and then I just need to pick a third project that I want to focus on. Kind of want to maybe focus on the reading blanket, but maybe not. We'll see. And then I have another work in progress that you haven't seen. So this yarn is Cascade Heritage, and these are the highlighter colors. Aren't they so obnoxious? So obnoxious. So I posted my January roundup last month, and someone I knew from high school posted that those things were really cool, and he is a tattoo artist. Anybody else, when you like come across your chapstick, you have to put it on? Just me? So he's a tattoo artist, and he was like, oh, those look really cool. Like, hand knit socks must be the most amazing thing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we could barter. We could trade. So we are trading a pair of socks for a tattoo. These are put on hold. I'm supposed to get my tattoo today. So hopefully, he hasn't confirmed the time though. So he said afternoon. It is not yet afternoon. It's still morning. So hopefully I'm getting a tattoo today. And these socks are on hold until he can try them on. Do you see how big this sock is? Do you see how, like, I don't know. Can you tell? Let me put it this way. Can you tell how big? Can you tell how big the sock is compared to my sock? It's very big. But I'm not sure if it's big enough because I went off of measurements for online charts, but of course those only give you so much information. So this project is on hold until he can try on this sock and I can confirm if it fits his foot. And then, listen, he's getting the way better side of this deal because I just want like a little anklet. If the tattoo is finished today, if I get it, I will put in the red and angry version of my tattoo, and then I'll show you the good version next month. But so I just want a fairly simple, straightforward anklet, and he's gonna touch up a tattoo that's on my foot because I'm gonna have my shoe off anyway, right? I was like, since I'm gonna have my shoe off anyway, if you wouldn't mind. He was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So that's supposed to happen today. But he wants long socks. He's a really tall guy. So I need to take some measurements because if I'm making long socks, I need to know what that calf measurement is, right? Because my calf measurement is not going to be the same as everybody else's calf measurement. So I can't just like try on my sock. If I was making it for my sister, I'd be like, this is about the same. Her legs are about the same as mine-ish. But so I need to measure his calf and I need to make sure this fits. And if it doesn't, if it's not long enough, I'm going to cut into this yellow section right here and just expand this middle yellow section on both socks and call it good. But the pattern that I'm using is, sorry, brain. I saw a dinosaur in my head because it's called Scraposaurus. My brain was trying to help me with the pictures and it just blanked. So Scraposaurus socks, patterned by me. Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully they fit or fit pretty close, and hopefully he likes them. And hopefully I get my tattoo today. I need him to confirm the time. He might be confirming the time right now. I'm getting some texts right now as we're speaking. So if you heard little beeps, that's what's going on. I'm getting some texts. So that is my knitting and crafting. I do have another project that I'm thinking I might start today, but you can find out about that in March, in the March video. Reading. So different from January. I only finished one book this month. Nope, 2 books. Finished 2. The first was A Court of Mist and Fury, and I finished that right at the beginning of the month. May have been the second. And I was reading that via Kindle. Really, really liked it. Oh my gosh. Like, A Court of Thorns and Roses was okay. I liked it. It was good. It was actiony. Like, not a bad book. Okay? Like, I would recommend it to other people. But A Court of Mist and Fury, so good. I liked it so much. Those 2 books that I'm talking about are by Sarah J. Maas. If you've heard of Book Talk at all, you've heard of them. But I really liked A Court of Mist and Fury. I have not started the next book because I'm really trying to get through Priory of Orange Tree. I am just past page 575. Somewhere between 575 and 600. So I'm getting there. I have been reading. not as much as I wanted to because I've been studying a lot, and it was just a rough month at school. Like, not, yes, it was a rough month. I'm not going to try to discredit that statement. It was a lot. It was a lot going on, a lot of work, a lot of time spent after school doing work stuff and doing studying. So I just didn't have brain space for reading that book. But I did start and finish another book, which I believe I talked about in another clip. It's called The Honeys, and my kiddo got it for me from the library. I liked it. It was, oh my gosh, someone really wants my attention. That's a lot of messages. It's not something that I would pick up on my own. Like, the cover art wouldn't have grabbed me. It's not something that I would be like, oh my gosh, you need to read it. But conceptually, it was kind of interesting. It's a little, that weird space between like fantasy that's almost sci-fi, but there's not actually a necessarily sci-fi aspect to it, but like maybe, do you guys know what I mean? Like, some books are very clearly fantasy, some books are very clearly sci-fi, and then some books are kind of like in the middle. In the middle. That's where this book lands. And I am definitely a fantasy type reader who dips into sci-fi sometimes. So, not my favorite book, not a bad book, interesting. And if I knew a teenager who is into like science-ish fantasy, there's not really that much science, but like kind of. Yeah, I would recommend it. I would, however, content warning the first chapter, because it is very, very graphic. Somebody dies. It's very bloody. The rest of the book is not like that, but I read the first chapter and I was like, whoa. Just out the gate? You're coming with that out the gate? And then the rest of the book seemed very mild comparatively. So, I don't know. It was okay. It was about a summer camp, a teenager at a summer camp, a gender fluid teenager at a summer camp. I'm sorry if you can hear my washing machine in the background. Who is there kind of investigating something. Yeah. It's cool. I learned way more about bees than I knew before. So I love books where I learn things. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. I'm really liking Priory of the Orange Tree. It's just, I don't enjoy the weight of the book because it's 800 pages. It's really, really heavy, and I like to read, most of the time I like to read laying down. Right now, during summer, totally different story, but like most of the time when I'm reading, it's right before I go to sleep, and that book is heavy, and it's like hard on my wrists because it's so heavy. So that's why it's taking me so long. Also, it's 800 pages. It's just a lot of book to get through. But I'm liking it. I like the story. I like the characters. Even the characters I don't like, I still like them. Does that make sense? Like, I like the way that they're written, even if I don't like them as, I was going to say as humans, but that's not accurate. Yeah. I'm liking it. I'll get through it. I wanted to be done by the end of February. It just didn't happen. But there's no reason why I will not be done by the end of March. And then I'll be on to something else. Maybe something from my to be read list. Maybe not. Who knows? I sure don't. With that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you had a February that served your needs. I hope it was restful if you needed rest. I hope it was productive if you needed to be productive. I hope that you found a balance, and hope that if you went through something rough, you're on the upswing. I am sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you again in about a month. Bye for now, friends. Do you see this right here? I'm trying to do my work. I'm literally writing notes. You are so pleased with yourself. Can you hear how pleased he is with himself? How loud he's purring? I'm trying to do my homework, dude. I'm trying to study. I love you. He says, that was offensive. Why would you give me a kiss?